As the youngest of 3 brothers, I too like to torture things smaller than me. Hey, I am the Game Collector, and this is Second Opinion Games, and today I do the review of Ants for the Atari Jaguar.
Second Opinion Games.
So this is my look at Ants. So what do you get? A nice box that actually would fit very good on your shelf. An insert. A manual, which explains every single thing and in full color. Looks totally beautiful. The overlay, which is pointless, but it's very nice to have. And the card, which mine has somewhat muted colors, but this is the best clamshell I've ever seen for a reproduction game or a homebrew game. Okay, bye. Say what you want about Wave 1 games, at least the packaging is always top quality. But let's turn now to the gameplay. When you first boot up the game, you'll see that your options are very limited. You can turn off and on music, which, you know what, most of the official release Jaguar games, for some reason or another, didn't have music, so at least this game has it. But it is very telling when the music speeds up or slows down, if there's some type of glitch or stuttering in the processing of the game. But overall, I just leave the music on because it is quite pleasing. The Bs that you could turn on or off. Now, this can actually change up gameplay quite a bit. If you leave the Bs on, there is no time limit, meaning you could take your time to squish the ants and make sure you line up your shots perfectly. If you leave the Bs off, then you're under a bit more time constraints and you frantically kill the ants in order to regain time. You can't seem to gain any more than 10 seconds though, leaving the pressure just always on you to squish more ants and make it a little bit farther in the game. Honestly, both of these are quite enjoyable options, so just pick whatever you want. The B is a little tricky though. If he's at the very, very top of the screen, no matter how far back I pull on the controller, I just can't seem to get out of his way. Instead, you have to go all the way to the foreground to dodge him. Even if the B does still go over top of your hand somehow. It is a little confusing, but eventually you do get the hang of this. Not too long after playing the game, you'll notice that you unlocked another mode, finger gun mode, where you have a fully automatic shotgun and you blow away the ants with your hand shotgun thing. It's pretty hilarious and the targeting is a little off here. But just like with Zit-Jag zombies, if it turns red, it goes dead. So just line it up until you see the red, pull the trigger, and that's all she wrote. This does get pretty tricky when mosquitoes start coming into play because they will drain your life super fast. Remember to hit the C button to shake them off. Don't waggle your controller all over the place like a madman. It just won't work. The C button is to shake the mosquitoes off. Remember that. B button to fire. Your finger could also be hit by mosquitoes with the other gameplay type, but it doesn't happen nearly as often for some reason. The C button still shakes it off there. Unlocking another mode will lead to Big Bug Mode, where the bugs get freaking huge, and this is like shooting fish in a barrel. I just love torturing these now giant bugs, smashing them all to little tiny bits. Another mode that you might unlock, 5x Speed Mode, where everything moves super fast, and it's not fun at all. I mean, seriously, look at this. Can you think of anyone who would actually want to play this? And the last mode to unlock, Psychedelic Mode, where the camera moves all around. The colors have been changed up quite a bit, and it just makes me motion sick and makes me want to stop playing this game. But, I mean, it's an extra mode, so can you really complain? Looking at the environments, of course you have the countertop because you eat like a slob and you leave crumbs all over the place. Also at picnics, you really have to be careful where you put your blanket because you could be sitting on an ant mound. On your stovetop, though, of course there's tons of crumbs around there always, and you have to watch out for that burner because when ants start catching on fire, the game starts getting really tough. This is also a time where I would probably just turn off the burner if I could. and then continue smashing my ants, or maybe just get some bug spray and not using my bare hands to put out the ants that are on fire. This scene is probably the hardest in the entire game. But if you beat it, you move to the pool table, because for some reason, people like to eat on top of their pool tables. And I have actually seen this in person, where people sit down to a ham sandwich at their pool table because they're bros and they don't even think about using the kitchen table like a normal freaking human. Now, there is other creatures in the game, like a stink bug, which if you smash it, it'll push out some black smoke and kill a lot of the other ants on the screen, and usually push you right into the next level. There's a snail that slows down the ants really, really slow, making them for easy targets, but it's temporary and doesn't last very long. And of course, if you're on the pool table for a really long time, well then, Antzilla will appear, and then you have to smash him. And he sort of infects your game from here on out. And at first, I thought it was a glitch. Matter of fact, I've even seen the ant walking backwards sometimes across my screen, which is kind of confusing. I even had a hard time killing him when he first appeared on my screen. But when I started a new game, I noticed that now I could actually destroy him, to the point where his health goes from many hundred down to 0, and then well into the negatives, until eventually he dies, and it says you've defeated Antzilla, and tempts you to try and track down the other hidden boss in the game, Bosquito. Well, I know once Antzilla infects your game, things do start getting a little bit buggy. For example, you can never get rid of him, and playing the finger gun game isn't very fun now because he just takes up the screen. So, of course, I decided to reset my Jag and see what's going on there. But when I turn it back on, I have to unlock all the modes all over again. And that's a little rough, but luckily, these modes are unlocked pretty darn quick. But what I like most about this game is that you can mix up all the options. Turn the bees on or off, or stick with the finger guns, but make the bugs big. Make them move really fast, even though that's stupid, so just keep them small. My favorite is without the bees, with the finger guns, and the big bugs. It's like shooting ants in a barrel, and you'll have a pretty great time with it. If you get really good and remember to shake off those darn mosquitoes, then you'll get to Bosquito at the end of the game, where he has a 300% life, and every time you shoot him, it takes 1 hit point of damage off of him, leading to a 20-minute grind where you just line up your shot just right to kill the final boss of the game. If you're extra dedicated, well then, good for you, but I really don't have the patience for that. Overall, I think this is Wave 1's best game so far. Ants. They're everywhere, and the game might be a little buggy, but I've had a terrific time with it, and this I truly mean. I've been playing it for a couple of hours now, and it's one that I'm definitely going to keep coming back to. But that's just my opinion. Thanks for watching. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this review. I actually had a great time making it. This is a really fun game, and it really took me by surprise. And kind of like Club Drive, I don't think it looks the best, but I have a great time playing it. And I want to know what games out there do you guys feel the same way about? And please leave me a comment, even if it's just to say hi, because after all, I'm very lonely. And until later, I'll see you again, guys.